So let's clean up our menu a bit. It's okay vertically like this, but when I click the toggle switch to show it horizontally, we get all kinds of problems. The items are showing up. Let me click on Dashboard. And the first thing I'll do is I'll get rid of this indicator, which shows on an item when it's selected. I'll go to the template, our PS menu item template, and we can see our indicator right here. We already have an ngIf, so this indicator only shows when the item is active. Let me just rearrange this a bit. I'll put the ngIf first. And we only want to show this icon if the item is active and the item is vertical. So if it's not vertical, it's horizontal, and this whole Font Awesome icon will be left out. So let's look at this. I'll refresh, and now when I click on Dashboard, we don't get the indicator, so that's good. The next problem I see is with the arrow on Equipment. We don't need that to show in a horizontal menu. When they click on Equipment, it should show a pop-up menu underneath it, like a standard menu. But for now, let's just get rid of that arrow. We'll go to the PS menu group template, and here's our icon right here, and we'll just add an ngIf directive here as well. So we only want to show this icon if we have a vertical menu. And now we can see that the indicator's gone, and that's good. So the next obvious thing here is our toggle button. The toggle button is working great, but it needs to be styled so that it's over here. Let's take a look at that. Let's go to our PS menu template. This is what shows the menu, and this anchor tag is the button that we're concerned about. We already give it a class of PS menu layout button, but let's use the ng class directive again. So we're going to create two new CSS rules, one for the class PS layout button vertical, which will only show if the menu is vertical, and another class for PS layout button horizontal, which will only show when we have a horizontal menu, not is vertical. Now we can keep the original styling the same for PS menu layout button. Let's just add these two new classes. I'll go to the menu CSS file. Here's our PS menu layout button, so let's add the new rules below that. Actually, all we're probably going to need is the horizontal version of it, because everything is already laid out here for the vertical version. So for the PS layout button horizontal rule, let's set the position to absolute to show it in the top right corner. That'll be relative to the menu area itself. And we'll set the top to -6 and a right value of 10 pixels. So just looking at things size-wise, these are the values that I came up with that make the button look good. It'll be up a little bit from the menu, and there'll be a 10 pixel padding on the right side because it's positioned absolutely. And since we're not using the vertical version and only the horizontal version, let's go back to our template and we can just remove the vertical version. So if it's not vertical, it'll add the class PS layout button horizontal. Let's save it and take a look. So our button is showing up in the top right corner now. It's in the right position, but we want the arrow to point to the left. It works fine, but let's fix that arrow. Here's where we're setting the class to chevron up, but let's take that chevron up class out, and we'll add an ng class as well. So we'll show the chevron up when it's vertical, and we'll show chevron left when it's not vertical. Let's see if that fixes it. I'll refresh, and that doesn't work at all. I did something wrong. I just need to make sure this is a colon here. Okay, let's try it out. Now our toggle switch is pointing to the left. That's fine. And it's pointing up, and that's working great now. So the menu's working pretty well. There are a few minor CSS problems. These items aren't really centered, and the highlight could be a little bit bigger. But there's one major problem we have. That's the equipment button. If we click on equipment, all of the items list out horizontally in a completely useless way. Let me just switch back to vertical mode. What we need to do if we click on equipment is take the entire submenu right here and place that right here as somewhat of a pop-up menu. So in the next video, we'll take a look at doing that. We'll add the ability for a grouping button like equipment to show a pop-up menu of items.